Florence is one of those cities that can fool you. You wait in the Uffizi line, you cross the Ponte Vecchio, you get the Duomo from street level, maybe the David if the timing works, and you leave thinking you've seen Florence. The city you just photographed is the surface. There's another Florence underneath it, less crowded, older, in most cases, free. There is a hole in the wall on Via de' Bardi the size of a mail slot, easy to walk right past, nothing marking it but a small brass knocker. The reason it was built tells you everything about how this city thinks. By the end of this video, you will know exactly where it is. We will start with the dome. In 1418, Florence had a cathedral that had been under construction for over 100 years, and no one had an idea how to finish it. The dome they had designed would span 150 feet across and rise 375 feet off the ground.
And it begins. Start counting, Lexi. Only 400 plus steps. That's it. Piece of cake. Let's do this.
Every architect in Europe said it required wood scaffolding so massive it would strip the forests of Tuscany. Filippo Brunelleschi said he could build it without the scaffolding. He did not share his method. He just said, "Give me the job." He spent the next 16 years proving it.
Oh boy, after that landing, they definitely get tighter as you go up. It is a tight little spiral. How fun is this, huh? So here is the internal dome. Largest mural in the world. Wow.
37,000 tons of dome, close to 4 million bricks, and he personally inspected every single one. He invented the herringbone brick pattern you can still see inside the double shell. Bricks angled to follow the curve, creating compression without external support. No engineer had done it this way before. When the dome was finished, Brunelleschi destroyed every drawing, every calculation, every blueprint. He did not want anyone to copy it.
It's like coming out of a ship, out of the hold of the ship, and then you finally rise. Oh baby. Look at the view of Florence. I mean, you really are up where the birds are. Hello, Florence.
To this day, there is not a single surviving document showing exactly how he built it. It remains, 600 years later, one of a kind.
Well, if you're wondering if it's worth the climb and worth the money to get up here, I say yes. And we actually did it on the secondary market, so we paid double. And it's still worth it, I think.
You have two options at the Duomo complex. The dome climb is 400 steps with no elevator and a tight spiral near the top. The bell tower next door is fewer steps and gives you an unobstructed view of the dome from the outside. That is where the better photograph is. Book tickets online for either. The lines are long and the day tickets sell out. Directly across the square from the cathedral, most people photograph the Duomo and move on. What they are standing with their backs to is worth stopping for. The baptistry of San Giovanni, and on its east face, a set of doors that Michelangelo reportedly called the Gates of Paradise. Lorenzo Ghiberti spent 27 years making them, a mastery of perspective that was extraordinary in 1452. The panels here are a 1990 replica. The originals are inside the Museo dell'Opera del Duomo across the square. It's free to stand at the doors. Most people are too busy photographing the cathedral to turn around.
10,000 pounds of bronze covered with gold on the outside. They are called the Gates of Paradise. And I'll explain to you what I think, deductive reasoning, why that is. And they're actually opposite the doors into the cathedral. Now, notice they are very ornate, but they're all black. So my theory, and tell me if I'm correct in the comments, is you are with sin, mankind, born in sinful nature. You come into the cathedral and you meet Christ. You get cleaned, so to speak, and reborn. And then as you exit the cathedral, you then are opposite, going into the gate of paradise. Pretty cool. That's my theory. Tell me if I'm right or wrong. Expand in the comments.
Blocks from the Duomo, there is a building the street maps label as a church, but it started as something entirely different. In 1290, this was a grain loggia, an open-air structure where merchants stored and traded wheat for the city. In 1292, just 2 years later, someone painted an image of the Madonna on one of the interior pillars. People started reporting miracles. Within a generation, the city of Florence closed the arches, converted the building, and declared the grain market a sacred site. Not a shrine built around the image. They converted the entire building. The tabernacle inside, built to house the original image, is one of the greatest works of Italian Gothic. It's free to enter. There's no line. It's on every street map, but on almost no itineraries.
It actually was a granary, right? And then there was an image of Mother Mary that was found in here, and they said, wow, this is a holy place. We need to no longer have this be the granary. We're gonna convert this into a church. And so they blocked it up and so on and made the church in the 14th century out of this building. So, you know, when you know the backstory and the history, it just makes it even more special and come alive. I absolutely love the contrast of the old. This is like 14th century building, and then right across the street is the new, and it's literally a rubber duck store.
The Galleria dell'Accademia runs 2 entrance lines, a red priority line for timed ticket holders and a blue general admission line that stretches around the block. Book tickets online. When your time slot arrives, look for the flip placard system at the entrance. When the card for your time turns over, that is when you join the red queue, not before. We learned this system at the Uffizi the hard way. Before you reach the David, you walk through a hallway lined with 6 marble figures Michelangelo never finished. They are called the Prisoners, commissioned for Pope Julius II's funeral monument. Michelangelo died before completing them. What remains are human forms emerging partway from the stone, a face beginning to take shape, a knee pushing through, hands forming from the block. The chisel marks you can see on the surface are his, not a restorer's. Michelangelo's hand was on this stone.
These are chisel marks by Michelangelo. Think about that. His hand, one of the greatest of all time, the masters, did this. And you're able to look and see all the little detail and all the marks from his hand, chiseling away raw stone and turning it into something absolutely incredible.
Now the David. There is something you should know before you see it. Michelangelo hand-selected his own marble for every project in his career. He would go to the quarry himself, brand each slab with a personal mark so no other sculptor could claim it. Every piece except one. The marble for the David was chosen by someone else while Michelangelo was away from Florence. 2 sculptors before him had tried to carve it and walked away. They told the church the stone was too flawed, too many veins, the dimensions too long and narrow for a freestanding figure. The commission sat untouched for 25 years. Then Michelangelo took it. He finished the David in 2 years and 3 months. The very masterpiece that defines Florence was carved from a slab of marble that nobody else wanted.
My husband has told me that my soul is dead inside. On that note,
detour.
I did appreciate the David. That was amazing.
Once you learn more about it, right?
And as a result, I succumbed and allowed my husband to purchase a magnet of the David.
That's right.
Okay.
Once you see it, you'll probably change your mind and we'll be getting one. You gotta rub the snout of the pig, which is good luck, and it says you'll come back to Florence.
We found it!
And we're gonna take you there with us. In fact, we'll have Lexi lead the way.
Oh.
You'll do the first snout rubbing.
Am I gonna find it?
Your first ever snout rubbing of a boar.
Somewhere in here.
Yeah.
In the center of the old city, under a 16th century loggia, originally built for silk and gold merchants, is the Mercato Nuevo. The market now sells leather goods, bags, belts, wallets, jackets. Prices are negotiable. The selection is substantial. One timing note: the stalls pack up around 6:30 in the evening. The vendors literally wheel their carts away. Get there before 6 p.m. But the reason most people come here is at the south end of the loggia.
Oh! Yes! There it is! There she is! There he is! Sorry, he is. He's a boar. He's not a sow. And I do think people have rubbed other parts.
That's very naughty.
Yes,
Okay.
you're supposed to do the snout, my love. Yes. Oh, you will be returning to Florence.
The Fontana del Porcellino, a bronze wild boar whose snout has been worn smooth and shiny by centuries of hands. The tradition is simple: rub the snout, let a coin drop through the grate below, and you are, according to this city, guaranteed to return. We were there at dusk when most of the stalls had closed. The boar was easier to find once the leather racks were gone.
Okay, so this is really cool, you guys. This is the wine window right there. You pay the money in the little hole. Look at this.
In 1634, a plague swept through Florence. Wine merchants could not legally sell wine with any physical contact between buyer and seller. So they cut fist-sized openings into the walls of their palazzos. Small doors fitted with knockers and bells. You knocked, you paid through the slot, the wine was passed out, nobody touched. The tradition worked. Then the plague ended. The holes sealed over. And for nearly 300 years, most of them disappeared. Then, in 2020, for reasons that require no explanation, the Florentines remembered the holes and opened them again. There are now around 150 operational wine windows in Florence. Almost none of them are marked. In front of Hotel Palazzo dal Borgo is still active today.
Another thing just down from the wine window, if you're looking at the wine window, go left, is actually the very first pharmacy in the world. How cool is that?
You knock. You ring the bell. Wine comes out. It costs what a glass of wine costs. When you are done, look to your left. The building 30 meters down from the wine window is the Officina Parfumo Farmaceutica di Santa Maria Novella, founded 1221 by Dominican friars. It was the world's oldest operating pharmacy, now a perfumery, still producing formulas it has made for centuries.
It's such a popular thing now. There is a queue, there's a line to get in here to check out the very first pharmacy in the world.
Inside a 13th century chapel. No ticket to walk in. There's usually a queue at the door. So here is what you do. Get your wine at the window, join the queue at the pharmacy, and drink while you wait. The line moves faster than it looks. There is no cover charge. The building alone is worth the time.
Okay, that place was so cool. I didn't even know about it.
I know, right? We walk by, there's a
like-
line. Hey, if there's a queue,
If there's a
be
line,
inquisitive. I am a wonder, as you say. I always go, I wonder what this is.
I wonder.
By early evening, the city changes register.
Now, there's the wild boar. But look what's cool when all the leather sellers are gone and we got these columns. Oh my gosh. Isn't that just magical?
The market stalls in the Mercato Nuevo wheel away and the columns they'd been blocking reappear.
So in the evening time, look at this. Florence wakes up. This is right over the river.
Along the Arno, musicians set up near the bridges. The river picks up the light. There is a version of Florence between 8 p.m. and midnight that requires no ticket, no reservation, and no plan. Just walk towards the water.
A beautiful morning in Florence. Love the cascading water coming down. That makes for a pretty scene. Just on the other side of the bridge.
In the morning, the same river looks entirely different. Before the tour groups arrive, the Arno is quiet. The reflection of the bridges on the water in early light is by far the most quietly beautiful thing in Florence. And it costs nothing.
Thinking I'm falling in love with Florence.
5 things most Florence guides do not tell you. Number 1. The ZTL zones. The historic center of Florence is a restricted traffic area. If you drive in without authorization, a fine will arrive in the mail weeks, if not months, later. Return the rental car at the airport and take the train into the city center. It's only 20 minutes and costs almost nothing.
We're riding the train from the airport after returning the rental car. We're heading down to city center so that we can slow down a bit. Glad to return the rental car now.
Number 2. Large coffee is rare in Italy, but findable.
She's on the hunt for coffee. Do you find a big one? Because big ones are tough to find. Oh, large with a lid, lots of cream, lots of sugar. Americano Grande, listen to him. That's rare. We've had trouble finding it. She's so excited.
Just past the Ponte Vecchio, heading south into the El Trorno, at roughly the 11 o'clock position as you come off the bridge, there is an Illy coffee. Large Americano, €1.80. Hard to find anywhere else in the city. Number 3, bell tower versus dome. Decide before you buy. The dome climb puts you inside the structure at 375 feet. The bell tower is fewer steps and puts you at eye level with the dome from the outside. That is where the better photograph is. They require separate tickets. Number 4, Boboli Gardens. Honest assessment. If you buy the Palazzo Pitti combo ticket, the gardens are included. The view from the top of the hill is the best panoramic of Tuscany you will find inside the city. The gardens themselves are more park than formal gardens. Adjust your expectations accordingly. Number 5, order the diavola. If you eat pizza in Florence, and you should, order the diavola, spicy salami, sometimes listed as divola on local menus. This is the one to get. Here's what Florence teaches you if you give it enough time. This is a city that has been committing to things that looked impossible since the 15th century. They started a dome before anyone had proven it could even be built. They converted an entire grain exchange into a church because a vision appeared on a pillar. They carved the David from marble that 2 other master sculptors had already rejected and walked away from. They cut holes in their palazzo walls during a plague, sealed them when the plague ended, and opened them again when another plague came 400 years later. Florence does not preserve its history, it keeps using it. The wine window is still open. The pharmacy, now a parfumery, is still selling 800-year-old formulas. Brunelleschi's secret is still intact. And the marble nobody wanted is still the most visited sculpture in the world. Most cities give you a beautiful place to spend time. Florence gives you proof that the things we're doing are the ones that, at the beginning, look like they probably should not be possible. That is worth the flight.
I gotta say, I think so far, it's probably my favorite city. We will be back, Florence.
If you want to see what surrounds Florence, we have a full-day guide to the smaller cities you can reach by rental car. Siena, San Gimignano, Volterra, Pienza, and Lucca. Everything we discovered by taking the scenic route and stopping when something looked interesting. Link is right here. Watch that one next.